Welcome to this video on a demonstration of how to set up a field in AdaptN. If you visit the AdaptN webpage at adapt-n.com, you can see that we have three modes of field operation: point-based, zone-based, and grid-based. You can select at the field level which you want to use, and they each have their own benefits. For this example, we're going to create a zone-based field using soil types as the reason for creating each zone. There are multiple options for creating a field in AdaptN. You can drag in shapefiles that were created out of other systems. You can sync with the data source if you've connected your AdaptN account to another integrated software application, or you can draw a field on a map. We'll use that option for this example. You can enter an address or zip code or coordinates, or simply navigate around the map to find a field that you'd like to use. When you zoom in, existing field boundaries will become available for selection. If you need to adjust the boundaries, you can do so by clicking the white dots, or you can add other polygons as well by holding the Shift key. Once you've chosen your field boundary, assign it to a new farm, give the field a name, and choose the appropriate zone configuration method. You have the option to either create your zones manually by selecting None. You can have a single flat rate zone across the field by selecting Single Zone, or you can automatically create zones by soil type if desired. We'll use this option. AdaptN then automatically uses soil survey data to create internal zone boundaries and automatically populates each zone with the appropriate land properties for that part of the field. For example, the highlighted zones have less than 3% slope, are well drained, are loam from a soil texture perspective, and have a rooting depth of 34 to 38 inches. All of these values can be adjusted by the user if desired, and you can click into other zones to see their properties. On the bottom right, the zone configuration status shows how far along the setup process you are. In this case, we've finished our land setup, but we've not finished our soil or crop details. To work individually with a zone, you can simply click to the Other Detail section and fill out the appropriate parameters for that zone individually, or go back to the View Fields and Zones view and use the Field menu to finish the setup. In this case, we're going to choose our tillage system. Depending on our selection, additional options may become available. We'll enter our soil test results, both the depth of the sample and the % organic matter. In this example, I'm going to make the 2.1% organic matter sample apply to the entire field by checking the field box, but we could easily have different values for each individual zone if we desire. Next, we'll move into the crop setup for this field, where we'll specify our maturity class, our expected yield, our planting date, our expected harvest population, and our previous crop. And again, we'll apply it to some or all zones. That could be the end of our setup. However, if we've already applied nitrogen, manure, or irrigation, we'd want to add these applications as well. For example, if we have a pre-plant application that was performed in the fall of anhydrous ammonia, we would make the appropriate selections, enter the rate of nitrogen application in pounds of N per acre, enter the placement for the application, and if an enhanced efficiency product was used, we would add that as well. The last step is activating the field by returning to the land view, clicking the Activate Field link, and then visiting the field recommendation, either from the link on this page or from the field rec link on the field menu to run our recommendation. By default, if you click Go, the recommendation is going to run for the current day, and once the field is activated, it's going to run every day automatically for the rest of the season, taking into account the updated weather information. Or we can use the calendar widget to go back in time all the way back to 2010, selecting any date from those seasons to rerun the simulation using the weather data that occurred in that year. To go back to the recommendation we just ran for today and see our results, we can see that we have a 20-pound minimum recommendation, 53-pound average, 80-pound maximum recommendation, and total pounds of nitrogen needed is 2,035. If we look at the legend under the map, we can see the different parts of the field and their associated nitrogen rates, or we can click into any zone for its specific nitrogen recommendation and to view details about how AdaptN came up with that recommendation. Each zone detail page provides a set of supporting estimates and assumptions that help the user understand how AdaptN came up with its recommendation. When the user is ready to make an application based on one of AdaptN's field recommendations, click the Export Recommendation link, choose the type of nitrogen product that's going to be used to make this application, for example, 28%, make any necessary adjustments, and click Submit. By default, this will download a shapefile with the prescription in it that can be loaded into many other software systems or directly onto the monitor. If this field was linked from another software system, such as SST's AgX platform, there would also be an opportunity to send the recommendation directly back to that source software. There are other videos available that talk about our integrations with AgX and other systems.